Dang it.
Parents grapple with the complexities of modern life. They find themselves confronted with a paradox. The very lessons they once imparted to their children now seem obsolete in the face of rapidly changing social norms. In the age of ride-sharing apps and remote work, the lines between stranger and friend, safety and risk, blur with disconcerting ease. Father and mother are no longer confined to rigid definitions. As the concept of family evolves, so too must our understanding of what it means to be a parent, a partner, and a provider. Perhaps one defined not by titles or roles, but by love, understanding, and mutual respect.
Hey, everybody. Good morning and welcome to Insights and Straight Talk. I'm Grandpa Rodd. You see, we got a couple people already on, and today we are taking a real look at what it means to grow up as a teenager in 2025 and how different that is from when I was a teen. So in a few minutes, we'll be joined by my granddaughter, Emma Lynn, who's living it right now. But first, Emma, I think I lost her. Okay. But first, there you are. Hey, Emma, can you hear me on this right now? I saw it. I missed you. You can hear me? Good. Yeah. Okay. So in a few minutes, I'll be joined by my granddaughter, Emma Lynn, who's living it right now. But first, let's set the stage for what this conversation, why this conversation matters. When I was 16, the world was slower. We didn't carry our lives in our pockets. No cell phones, no social media, no notifications lighting up the nightstand. If you wanted to see someone, you drove to their house. If you liked someone, you actually told them out loud, said it out loud. And if you wanted answers, you had to find a book, not a search bar. Family was simple, but also strong. Parents expected respect, and you knew when dinner was ready because someone hollered your name from the porch. You sat down, you said grace, just as a bit, and talked about your day. Today, a lot of families still do all that, but with a twist. The conversation now happens between pings and scrolls, across devices and distractions. Research says about 70% of teens today rate their relationship with their parents as strong, but only 1/3, 1 in 3, feels truly understood. That's a gap. I remember my father asking me one Friday night about a history test that I'd punked. At 16, I thought he was lecturing me. At 63, I realized he was trying to connect. For parents today, that moment is harder to catch. The window between connection and distraction is a blink. The next difference, school and opportunity. Back in the 70s, there were 3 main paths: college, trade, or straight to work. I worked summers mowing lawns and flipping burgers. It gave me a sense of pride, a paycheck. It meant independence. Today's teens race more choices, but also competition. College feels like a requirement. Career paths start in middle school. The average teen works less and worries more. In the 1980s, over half of teens had a job. Today, that number's closer to 35%. Many are too busy, or there aren't enough jobs designed for them. They're preparing for a world powered by technology and AI, one that's changing faster than any generation before. And that, my friends, brings us to AI anxiety. The question I keep hearing from teens like Emma Are we competing with robots for our dreams? That's a real question, and it deserves an honest answer. Truth is, every generation has faced a version of this fear. My generation worried about automation in factories. Now kids worry about automation in creativity, education, and even emotions. But the human part, the part that dreams, connects, and creates, that still belongs to us. Let's talk about lifestyle. When I was growing up, food was simpler. You bought bread, milk, and meat at the local store. Eating out was a treat, not a routine. Today, families spend about as much on restaurants as they do groceries. Delivery apps, drive-thrus, and food photos fill social feeds. For teens, food isn't a meal. It's a moment to share online. A burger with friends becomes a snapshot of identity. Back then, a meal was family. Now it's often content. And yet, both are ways of saying I belong. There's another shift that hits deep, the comparison culture. When I was young, you compared yourself to the kids in your neighborhood. Maybe someone had a better car or nicer clothes. Today's comparisons are global. A teenager in Oklahoma or in California can compare themselves to someone in Paris in 3 seconds flat, just with a double tap. Studies show 48% of teens believe social media has a mostly negative effect on their generation. That's nearly half. Constant exposure can create pressure, envy, and exhaustion. Emma will tell you she's very tired this morning. Had to throw that in there. But here's the hopeful side. Teens today are more aware, more expressive, and more willing to talk about mental health than we were ever able to do. They're saying, I need balance. They're calling out unrealistic standards, and that's something worth listening to. And while we talk about the challenges, we also have to talk about the courage. Because this generation, Gen Z, and the emerging Gen Alpha, they're not sitting still. They're building more movements online, starting businesses in high school. Emma brought up her cake business just a little bit ago. Speaking about the climate, equality, and faith, they're rewriting what family, work, and communities mean. I grew up thinking success meant stability. This generation, Emma's generation, sees success as freedom to learn, to move, to create. And maybe that's the lesson both sides can share. The older generation brings roots. The younger brings wings. Together, maybe we find balance. So as we open today's show, remember this isn't just about technology or trends. It's about the heart behind it, about connection, about understanding, about how families and generations can learn from each other instead of drifting apart. We can't keep saying kids these days. We need to start asking, what are they seeing we're missing? So now let's bring in the voice that lives this every single day. She's smart, she's thoughtful, and she's not afraid to keep me honest. Please welcome my granddaughter, Emma Lynn, the future sitting right beside the past. And together we'll talk about AI anxiety with you guys. We'll all talk about this in digital identity and what it really means to be a teenager in 2025.
Hi,
Let me change that. How you doing, Emma?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing very good myself. I am glad to see you here and talk to you. You know, I think I've said this before. This gives me an opportunity to have just another reason to chat with you for a little bit. Now, oh wow, we have 325 people on. Hey everybody, how you doing? Uh, please subscribe, please like, and before we get going here with Emma, please uh, allow me to throw out a shout out to our sponsor here in the city, Mangum City Library, and we thank you for this and appreciate everything you do for us. So Emma, what's going on? Talk to me.
Nothing really.
I need to get rid of one screen, and now I can see much better. So nothing's going on. But when do you have to leave? You told me you have to cut it short a little tiny or a bit, and you and Mom are going out and having some fun today.
Yeah.
When do you gotta go?
Like around 30 minutes.
Okay. All right. Well, then we're gonna have to keep you busy for 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you are back to red. Didn't you go red, blonde, and red? No, but this red's darker red.
I was blonde. I'm not red right now.
Looks red. Ish.
What?
You look dark under here. Yeah. Well, maybe I'm old. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be. Okay, that has a
It's
little bit more
blonde.
blonde.
I was blonde and then I went I was
Red.
blonde and then I went red and then a week later I went back to blonde.
But that's not the same blonde as you had before, is it?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Why? Does it not look the same?
No, it looks like and your underneath is dark, right? Do you have two tones in your hair right now? The underneath and the outer?
No,
Okay,
it's just the light.
look.
It's just the lighting because the lighting,
Oh, it's the lighting.
it's shining on my hair right here, but I have no light right here, so it looks darker.
Look down for a second, would you, please? Yeah, okay. I'm telling you, it's red.
It's
I
not
love
red.
it.
It's not red. Hold
I'm never
on.
going to win this argument, guys.
It's not red. I'll show you. It's not red.
All right, show me it's not red.
That's not red. That's blonde.
It's red, Emma. I know. I'm not going to win this. So stop
Not
sharing.
red.
What am I sharing? What am I sharing? Add to stage. Why is this saying stop sharing?
You're not sharing anything.
Yeah, it's just you and me, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I have some share windows because of the. How do you like this?
Is that supposed to be us?
Yeah, automation. They're thumbnails, and so I use some automation to so that the thumbnails keep the theme of the show, but change slightly, and some of them are better than others. It's this AI. Welcome to AI. I mean, it's here. So yeah. Anyway, that's got to go. So how was your week? Tell me about your week. What? And don't say nothing. Give me some words here, Emma. Don't women have to use so many words in a day? I've always heard this. They have so many words that they need to use within a day. I know that sounds sexist. That's what I've been told. So tell me about your week.
On Monday, I went to school, I went practice, and then I went to the gym Tuesday. Wednesday, I had my orientation for my work, and then I went to practice after that. Then.
Did you start work yet? Actually started?
No.
Now, when do you have a schedule yet?
Kind of, yeah. I have a paper right here. I'm supposed to work. Well, I'm supposed to do training Tuesday from 4 to 8, and then on Friday they put 1 to 5, which I can't do 1 to 5 because I have school. But that's
Sure.
when it's finishing my work training, and I do drive
Or 2 days of training?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah. But I need to talk to them more because it's like when I went, because they have this app, like in the orientation, they taught us how to use the little phone thingies that they have to
Mhm.
like scan stuff, and then the
Gotcha.
walkies and to log into everything and make your account and get everything set up. And when I got my thing set up, you have this thing where you can see your shifts online, and you can pick up shifts
Ah,
online also. Um,
nice.
but my only shifts that are on there, it only says one, and that it's October 3rd, which doesn't make sense because they have me scheduled for here. And October 3rd is so far away. So I'm gonna
Are
talk
they
to
saying
them.
October 3rd, a year from now?
I mean,
October was last month.
no, aren't we in October? Oh wait, are
Yeah.
we in
I'm
November?
sorry. We're in November. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, November 23rd. That's when they have me scheduled. But I called and I was like, so do I not go in on Tuesday and Friday? And they're like, no, still go in. That's whatever. They're still figuring it out. Like, they're still putting me in there. Like, I still haven't gotten my
I
money
got
that
it.
I got from the orientation.
Does it show, does your like paycheck show up on the app? And this is a different phone. Is this phone you leave or is it your own phone?
My own phone, but they have another phone that where it's just like you
The
scan.
scanner?
Yeah.
Not the old
But
BlackBerry.
yeah, I could see it. I could see it on the app. But they just haven't set it up quite yet, so I can't see it. I can't see all the
What
stuff that I need to yet.
what store was this again? I forget.
Target.
Target, big company.
Yes.
So do you know what you're going to be doing?
I'm a guest advocate, so I'm working in the front, cashier, drive up. It's kind of like everything in one. I just have restrictions, like I can't deliver things. I can't. They're gonna have me do a lot of things and like greet people, and if I need to go stock something, I go stock something.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you've got a little variety there. That'll be good.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome. What's the what do you think's going to be the most? So you've gotten a little bit of training. You still have another day of it, so maybe not everything. But what is the most exciting thing that, or most interesting thing that you think that you're going to do that you're going to enjoy more than something else? Say,
The pay.
I mean the activity, of course, the pay. I mean the activity. What like greeting people, is that kind of, or learning the cash register? I mean, where would you lean to if your grandpa asked you the question in front of 300 people?
I don't know. I mean, I've never worked before, so it's kind of all like an experience that I kind of have to like know and learn and get used to and do all that.
Yeah, just things that you normally wouldn't think about anyway, right?
Hmm.
What does Justina? Why don't you read? What do you read? Why don't you read what Justina has here?
Okay. Do you think teens today have it harder or easier than in the 70s? Um, my mom likes to say that we have it harder now, but my dad says the
Why does she?
70s had it harder.
Why does your mom think you have it harder, and why does your dad think it's easier now? Have you had any discussion about that?
My mom thinks it's harder because like it was so easy for them to get jobs then. And they like a lot of people always had jobs, but like it took me a really long time to finally get applied. And
True.
I think it's more of the fact that a lot of people don't have experience, and then a lot of other people who are applying to these like smaller positions have experience. So they're gonna pick person with experience other than the non-experience. But I feel like once you get that experience, once you get your first job and you have experience, it's gonna be so much more easier to get a job from then on.
That's a good point. That's
So you
that's
kind of
exactly
just
it.
like you kind of just have to get started. Like if you keep applying, you're gonna end up getting a job. But you kind of just have to get started and go through that like hard phase for a second for it to get easier.
Yeah, and I think there's like I in the opening where I was talking about um, there, there's things that are easier and there's things that are more difficult,
Mm-hmm.
and including the pressures that are on you folks are I think bigger today. Like I said, we had three paths basically. You went to college, you went to trade school, or you went straight to work, right? That was your options. Now
Yeah.
you have all of that, but you also have college was kind of a higher end thing. It was something to reach for and hope for. Today, it's an expectation in a sense. I mean, I know you want to go, but there's a different societal expectation about college than there was back in my day.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's because you have to be expected to do a lot more. And with the other people that are applying, it's like older people who have already worked in multiple areas and done multiple things. So, and also they don't like dealing with the labor laws. Like I could tell, like they didn't know that I was underage when they had called me, and they were trying to schedule me to when the store had closed, which is 11, and I was like, I don't think I can work till 11 because I'm not, like, my curfew legally is 10, so I don't know if I'm able to do that. And he was like, "Oh, like you're younger, like let me switch you to a different position." And then when I was there, like it was a whole thing, and she was just like talking about like all the laws, and I could tell they don't really like dealing with a lot of works don't like dealing with the labor laws.
It's more work. I mean, it puts them under for a corporation dealing with labor laws. It, there can be ramifications, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
That go against that company or that organization. On top of the fact, it's a drain of resources, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that makes sense. I totally get that. Do you hear there's a hiring freeze coming up in not Walmart or Walmart, another very large store? Brandon, your uncle, was telling me about this because of the changing shift in jobs that's coming. Somebody on yesterday's show asked me that. They said, "What do you think the great middle class is going to see in 2025?" And you know that's a hard question to ask because AI is changing so quickly. Like I said, you know, we used to worry about automation in factories, which is here, robots. I sold stuff, you know, that did all that.
Yeah.
But I mean, literally that question, it just sticks with me. You know, you're worried about automation. Is it taking your dreams? You know, I mean, what are you going to be competing with robots? And
Yeah.
on top of it, currently you're competing with folks my age that can't make that financial bridge, so
Yeah.
they do other work, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see what do we got here. Let's you're are you at 30 minutes of hard stop because we're at 25 right now, so we got about 4 or 5 more minutes. Am I right there, or a little
We
bit
could
more?
do a little bit more.
All right, so what's Danny got here for you?
Okay. Is social media helping teens connect or just adding pressure?
Oh, that's what we were just talking about.
Um,
Interesting.
I think it always depends on the way that you look at it. I feel like a lot of people have a different mindset and can't grasp certain concepts from other people can. So I feel like a lot of people think that it's good and that they like it and that it helps them, and then a lot of people are like negative about it.
So to add to what you're saying there, I'm going to pull this over here and I'm going to share my screen. If you look at this, teens are more likely to say social media sites hurts hurts their sleep, their productivity, and their mental health, but see a more positive impact on their friends. So look at these stats. Can you see those? Can you read
Yeah.
those off for me?
Yeah. Okay. So
This
for
is out of the
friends,
Peer report. This out of the very famous Peer report. So go ahead.
so for friends, people voted 7, it hurts. People voted 30, it helps for confidence. Hurts 15, helps 19. Mental health is 19, and for hurts and helps, it's 10. Hurts your grades is 22 voted, and helps your grades is 8 voted. Productivity hurts is 40, and productivity help is 9. Amount of sleep is 45 hurts, and amount of sleep is helps 4.
Now, what that's interesting on the right side there. If you read on the right side there, neither hurts nor helps. It seems to be a very it. What do you think of this data here that we're seeing? In your opinion, you're living this. Like I said is that your cat?
Yes. I literally told her, I was like, I don't want him in my room because he's gonna be a mess, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Exactly. So, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on first of all, it's kind of interesting because all the gray stuff, until you get to productivity and amount of sleep, it's more on the right side, in the gray, that neither helps nor hurts. So that's kind of a lazy answer, I think. But what do you think of this? Because it's interesting. And do you agree that it helps create better or thicker, stronger, more color between the layers relationships with your friends? What do you agree with or don't agree with here?
I think that it can like help you talk to your friends. You know, you have so many things to talk to your friends and send your friend videos and laugh
Oh,
and
yeah.
and
True.
play
Good point.
games and
Good point. Excellent point. Yeah, I didn't even think about it.
um
Because I'm curious why these numbers are the way they are.
and confidence, like it's so it depends on if you're sitting there comparing yourself to other people, or if you're sitting there like getting like inspirations by other people and kind of being like, oh, I want to do that, you know. um it depends when it gets to the negative stuff, like mental health, confidence, and productivity. Like it just depends, because I feel like a lot of people post on like social media like things you can do, or fun things, or things that are productive, or stuff like that, and it can get you influenced to do those productive stuff, or be like, oh, I want to do that too, or have you just have an opinion. But a lot of people view it in
Mhm.
a negative way, and they just want to sit there and like do nothing all day. And amount of
Yeah.
sleep, I don't know. I feel like that's me. That was me last night. You just sit there and like scroll all night. But I feel like
Oh,
the
so
neither
you were
helps.
scrolling all night. I get into that sometimes, and then
Yes.
all of a sudden you look over. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. You're like, holy crap!
Yes.
Right? And that's what you did. Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But neither helps nor hurts. I feel like I don't think it's a lazy answer. I think that just people
Oh, okay.
think that it to them personally, it doesn't help them, it doesn't hurt them. It's like mutual. Like it's just when somebody feels mutual about something and nobody feels positive about it, but nobody feels negative about it.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring another one up in a second, but before I
Mhm.
do that, let me remove this. Let's go here and let's see what Damien has to say here.
What do you think about Emma's view on education pressure?
So that I think we're in the beginning. We are talking about the pressures of education. Well, the school systems that you're dealing with. We've gone through all that, but there's a
Hmm.
little bit of attack. Do you think there is pressure on from society, from your peers about going to college?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you don't see that at this point. The numbers are pretty high that especially the 19 to 24-year-olds. That's where, because you're evolving as you're going along. I did want to bring this on. Shut this one. Bring up, I think this one. Where teens are comfortable talking about. Okay, this is an interesting one. We're not really at that moment, but I do want to hit it if we it's the same one. Okay, so yeah, let me do this. Why don't you read this from the same Pew report? And this is about talking about mental health, because I brought this up. These are some key things that we were talking about in our in the opening monologue, comparing like when I was a teenager. You would, you don't say anything. Not that people didn't want you. I just grew up that way, right? And I think today, and I think it's a good thing. Teens are much more, and it looks like Damien has another question, so hopefully I'm not out of step here. But teens are more shaping their world, and they want to be heard, and they're pushing back against things that aren't connecting for them, where we in the past wouldn't have. And part of that is talking about your mental health. And couple of the points in here were a little surprising to me. Not the parent, that's I get that. But first of all, read this if you would, and then let's talk about the numbers that are on this report. This was done December of 2024, so this is recent.
Okay. So more teens are comfortable talking about their mental health with a parent or a friend than a therapist or a teacher. For a parent, how do I put this in words? For parent, it's comfortable. People voted 52. For somewhat, they voted 31. Not at all 16. For a friend, people voted 48. Somewhat, people voted 37, and not at all voted 15. I'm surprised that the votes for the parent is higher than the votes for the friend.
That's what I was going to ask you about.
Yeah.
That's interesting. It's very close, and then the rest just drop off pretty big, but still there. And the teacher is interesting too, because I was curious if somebody is go ahead. Why are you surprised that it's more for parents than for a friend?
I don't know, because I feel like people are always talking about how they don't want to tell their parents something, and it's always, oh, I don't want to tell my parents, I don't want to tell my parents. So, and people are always talking about it with, their friends, people they're close with. So it was just surprising that number, even though it's only four votes, but it's still
It's
surprising.
by the way, that's a percentage. So there's probably 100,000, 200,000, maybe a million. I don't know what the number is, but these are percentages. So it's 4% difference. It's not 50 people they're getting this information of. It's millions, right? And so that these are all percentages. So they're actually pretty big numbers. Let's say you take 4% of a million. Oh, I hope I didn't set myself. That's like 400. That's only 40,000. That's not that big of a number, I guess. It's really not. And I wonder why that is. I wonder if it's because out of this group, you had some stronger family than friendship relationships.Maybe you think. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I think so sometimes. My cat is messing with so much stuff right now.
What's he into?
My shoebox of my Uggs, he keeps messing with the top of it and literally chewing on it and just, yeah, he's just a mess right now.
Wait a minute. Have you worn the Uggs yet?
No, I haven't worn them yet. They're my shoe. I have like shoe Uggs.
Oh, shoe Uggs.
Yeah.
So are they similar to the kind of the boot Uggs?
They're like chunky like the boots, but they're like shoes. Do you want to see them?
Just shoes. Yeah, yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna come off so I can see it close. Hold on. Okay.
I'm like touching the bottom. Yeah. They look like that.
I get it. Okay, yeah. They're exactly they're exactly except that they're cut off. You know, they're basically the same thing, right? Because they're
Yeah.
furry inside, right?
Okay. Has technology really made life better for teens or just busier?
That's a good question.
Mm, I don't know if I would say busier. I don't. My camera keeps falling down.
Your what's falling down? Your camera?
My camera. I don't know if I would say busier. Like, I don't know if like, cause it's not busy to be on your phone. I don't know. I
Well,
think
I think
that
it's go
what?
ahead.
No, I don't. I don't
Well,
really.
I think that it is a little bit busier because you're able to do, for instance, when I was a kid, we watched TV. We went out till dark and played. Well, I'm a guy, so we did the guy stuff, and you know, basically jumped on our bikes, and we didn't come home till the porch light was on, or that call that we are talking about, the dinner's ready. Hey, Rodd, you know. And then after that, it was kind of all started to slow down, right? Anything now, you have that from that point, you have the scrolling and the social media interactions. So I kind of can get into that, but I think it's better, right? I mean, you're like you say, the way you use social media, you're gaining, you're gathering, you're doing more stuff, right?
Mhm.
You're
Yeah.
you're you're more exposed.
Yeah. I think that also, like, I feel like people are still busy. I feel like people go out. I feel like the only time that like social media really like affects somebody and they're on it so much is like either at night or if like a teen isn't able to go out and they kind of have strict parents and they're not able to do anything. The only other thing that they have to do is sit there on their phone. So that's what they're doing
Mm,
24/7. And I feel like that might be where that negative mindset goes to because you're seeing all these people go out, all these people doing this, and that, and you are kind of like stuck. But I feel like
okay.
kids still go out all the time. You know, people go out to the football games and all that stuff. So like I still feel like kids still go out and do things and go places and all that. But it's just
So
if you
you
have like a strict household, I feel like that's when you get like kind of trapped and just doing nothing but sitting in your room because that's kind of the only thing that you can do.
That's an excellent point. That's actually a very, very, very good point. So you're saying that uh, whether you have, let's say you don't have a phone, right? You're
Mhm.
busy. You're busy. You're just as busy one way or the other. But the phone, the social media, the computer, whatever, gives you the opportunity to where if you don't have any other choices, that you unfortunately you have to fill your life with that because you don't want to just sit and stare at a blank wall,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Now you had mentioned mental health a little bit and the bad rap for social media, and by
Mhm.
the way, you know there's another report here. I won't bring it on, but uh, that kids are more concerned about bullying. And it was like 3 shows ago, we talked quite a bit about bullying there for a minute, um, and you know what that does, and your reaction to that is you need to know who you are, and if somebody's trying to do that. Now, in the old days, it was physical bullying, somebody out in the playground, but
Mhm.
read what it says here.
Okay. Teens are more concerned, or parents are more concerned than teens about mental health. For teens, it's 35% extremely. Somewhat
Isn't
42%.
that, before you move on, isn't that interesting that that amount of teens, 35%? I mean, that for teens, they're judging themselves. I'm not judging, but they're saying, I'm concerned about mental health, just mental health. This is just mental health, and because we're
Mhm.
talking about it more, which is a good thing. Does that seem high to you? Now, parents, I get, but but but
Um,
go ahead and read it. But what do you hover here on 35% for teens? To me, that seems high. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, I guess I suppose, but also at the same time, like teens are going through like so many like emotions and so many phases and so many things at once that it makes sense. Like it's when you're in the stage of like still being a kid and growing up, so you're in a very weird like
You're in a
mindset,
transition.
I guess. Yeah,
Yep.
like you're
Yep.
you're in a weird like feeling, and everything's weird
Oh
between
yeah.
like a certain amount of like age gap. So I feel like it kind of does make sense at the same time because there's so many things happening at once.
That makes okay. So you're living it now, like I said in the beginning, right? You're living it now. So in your reality and what you see day in and day out, because you're in this time, um, you that 35% number makes sense to you.
Yeah.
Ish, somewhere in there. Ish, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm not saying it's like, oh, the number's okay, but I feel like it makes sense.
You can see it. You can
Hmm.
see why that would be a risk. Okay, go on and read the other. We got a few more questions here, but
Um,
go ahead and read the rest of it if you would.
parents extremely is 55%. Somewhat is 34%, and not at all is 11%.
That's funny how big these numbers are about
Yeah.
mental health. 70% of adults and children, the human species, 70% have some sort of deal with some sort of mental health. Do you think anything like that? Do you think that has anything to do with today growing up?
The percentage?
70% of me, adults, and you, children,
Mhm.
all not babies, obviously, but adolescents and adults, 70% deal with mental health issue, whether that's just uh, should go blank on the name, whether that's not stress, but uh, from just being depressed, being that that constant pressure on you dealing with mental health, and all the way up to suicide, all sorts of things.
For
And when I
for
say mental health
parents,
for parents and children, do you think that's what do you think that is? What do you think? It's way higher than it's ever been in history, and I don't know how far back recorded history of this goes, but that's a really 70%, 7 out of 10 people walking around. What do you think causes that? Or what are some of the effects that relate to that number, those numbers?
well, a lot of the time, I feel like it's extreme situations, like whatever's happening in your home life that's causing you to feel that way. But also at the same time, a lot of people don't know how to process their emotions correctly or how to move on or any of that. So they kind of just, a lot of people stick with what has happened
Depression.
to them years away. Huh?
Depression was the word I was thinking, trying to
Uh,
remember. So they
um,
don't know how to process their emotions. Go on,
I
go on.
think I think some people don't know how to it, like I don't know. I just can't really like touch on it exactly because everybody has mental health problems for their reason. Some people might not know how to express themselves well or how to let go, or they're having extreme home life problems, or they're having financial problems. It's a lot. I think that it's a lot, and I think that comes from like how expensive things are and how social media puts things in your head sometimes, or kind of just people just being bad people in general towards other people. Like it's a lot of things at once, and mental health can be for literally so many reasons.
Yeah, no, that absolutely, and I think there's always been pressures, but I think it's just so much more nowadays.
Yeah, I feel
And go ahead, good. I'll go back to it.
I see the parents having like more of like a mental health problem because of how much stress they have, you know. I feel like on top of everything personal, you know, if somebody might be going through something personal as adult. On top of that, you have to be like financially stable, figure out your job, and you know, having kids, I know that's really stressful, and that puts a lot, and it's like it's everybody's first time living, so not everybody's gonna know everything, and not everybody's gonna know how to do certain things or know how to process certain things or learn to deal with like that stress or all of that.
That brings us back to this whole social media stuff, because depending on how you use it, you can actually add to your your mental your situation in a good or a negative way. You have the ability now to reach out for help. And just even in the memes, I see them all the time, like TikTok, and guys talking to other guys about, hey, dude, and you realize you're not the only one, right?
Yeah.
But then the other side could be negative depending on what your algorithm is sending you. And I don't know I don't know what that would look like, but I'll tell you what, I think it's very interesting. Hang on just a second, real quick. Hey, I'm on the show with Emma Lynn. I'll call you back, okay? Producer Barbie. Wanted to check it. Obviously, she's not watching the show. Tell me what Clayton's got to say here.
How can grandparents better understand the digital generation? Who you have to be on it. Like I feel like you understand it more because you're on it and you're like learning how to use it. If you don't learn how to use it, you're not gonna understand it. It's like, you know, you have to do something or do it a lot or figure it out or learn it to understand it.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's like learning math.
Brandon, what's
Yeah.
that?
It's like learning any subject in school, like math or something like that.
Yeah, you have to, and you going back to that experience part you were talking about with jobs, right? You've
Mhm.
got to get experience with it. It's very frustrating because it's like learning math or learning a new language, or you've got to be in Germany next week, and now you have to learn it to be able to live, right? And we're the older generation, grandparents are actually afraid of it. But I live, like you said, I live it. I mean, it's like my job is now a video game all day. I go from social media, TikTok, I'm on all the right now we're streaming Facebook, LinkedIn. So it's both, right? It's the older generation and the younger generation. While those are both older generation. TikTok. Did you know TikTok is by far the most used social media with teens? Did you know that? I was surprised.
Yeah.
Over Snapchat, over Instagram, which are kid related ones. But but is it because it's videos, right? Pictures. It's almost like a little TV program. Is that why you think?
I think
I mean,
that,
it's a big number. It's like a big number between
yeah.
YouTube and everybody else. Go ahead.
I think that it's like it's just like TikTok's easy, you know, and it has a lot of like funny things and relatable things, and it's really easy to do mostly
Yeah,
everything
it is.
on it. Like it's easy to post, it's easy to all that. Oh, Barbie is watching. Thank
Oh,
you.
I didn't even see that. What'd she say? Hold on, let me bring it up. I gotta go back to a couple of questions here, but I'll come back to this. Ah, you said thank you already. See, her hair is blonde in that, more of a chrome blonde looking. And
Okay,
so
because she's like,
ask
okay,
Barbie,
wait.
ask Barbie, ask Barbie, ask her.
It does
Hey,
my hair look blonde? You can't tell because it's not in the sun. I swear it's blonde.
go back to the window. Give her a good look.
Okay.
She's
Okay.
the one that got me so interested in all this stuff. So blame her for me being a pain with you on this.
Does it
Oh,
look
that's a good.
blonde? It's
Yeah,
like
I
dirty
think it's got
blonde.
dirty. Okay, okay, okay. So,
Cause
uh,
I don't like
producer
platinum blonde
Barbie.
or like, huh?
I was just telling platinum. I was just telling producer Barbie to chime in on this
Cause I don't
because I
like
can't win it.
I don't like platinum blonde or none of that. See? I told you that's what my mom says. My mom says it looks strawberry blonde.
Strawberry blonde. Strawberry
Yeah,
blonde.
that's
Huh?
what my mom
You go.
says.
See, my hair is dirty blonde. No, my hair's just dirty. It's great.
But yeah,
All
it's
right,
I
go ahead.
okay, we're at 51 minutes, so
All right, the last question here.
okay.
All right,
Mhm.
talk to
Do you
Jack.
think today do you think today's teens are more
Resilient,
than resilient than ever before? I don't know what resilient means.
meaning that you can take things. You're resilient. So if something happens, you can get through it. You're resilient. You can come back at it. You can, if you fall, you can get back up. If something
Um,
hits you, you shrug it off.
I know a lot of people who are really, really like good with that and they're good to move on from things, but there's a lot. I think it's like 50-50. There's one
Oh,
of my friends that I was talking to last night and she was like going through her stuff and I like had to tell her at the end of the day like the world keeps spinning, life moves on, and that's what it is. Like that's what it is. Like your life is going to keep moving on, and some people can't grasp that fact yet that like that's happening. So I feel like it's 50-50 because some people can't really just move on from things like that. Some people really like to hold on to things, which is really understandable, wanting to hold on to things and all that. But also other people are more like easier to just be like, okay, like, all right. I think it's
yeah.
50-50.
Okay. I'm gonna have one more question to that. So,
Okay.
um, do you think do you have do you have a lot of conversations with your friends like what you just talked about, where you are getting advice or giving advice? Is not that your whole conversations about that, but do kids talk to each other and seek advice from each other? Last question here before you go have your fun with mama.
Okay, wait. Like ask that more.
So when I was a kid, and maybe it's different in sexes thing to a degree, but um,
Hmm.
I wouldn't, as a 16-year-old, I wouldn't imagine about talking to my buddies, except for maybe some relationship things or little stuff, but but where you're really caught up deep and into something and can't let go of it. Do you have those kind of conversations with your trying to get a gauge of how much more mature teenagers are than we give you credit for? Does that happen a
Um,
lot in your world?
I think so. I think it does, yeah.
So people do lean on each other for real life uh, advice.
I I think so. Sometimes they can lean on, but also at the same times I feel like, when you're having a deep conversation, it kind of just comes out. So then you start talking about it
Ah,
and
okay,
like it's yeah.
okay, all right. Well, that was a great show. I really enjoyed the show, and the hour went by really fast. The 54 minutes with 333 people on. Say hi to your fan club, unless you want to keep going. I'm good with it.
Is there any other questions?
No, I'm gonna go back after this grandparents one. If you want to hang out, I'll hit my side of this with Clayton. How can grandparents better understand the digital generation? And you said it perfectly. You got to use it, But
Mhm.
even more than that, you got to believe that you need to. The first thing you got to do is recognize that it's not. It's coming. I mean, it's here. Uh, I have one of the lanes called the Jetsons are coming. The Jetsons are here, man, and it's just like that other question: how do you see the great middle class in 2026? And all this digital shift and everything else. Well, social media or digital generation, I have a better chance of competing with big companies now, or in certain situations, because I'm learning how to basically have an army of 5 or 10 or 50 agents. They're called bots, that are doing work for me, so that I can get more things done within the same amount of time. The original computer said, it was sold as, you're going to have a computer in your house. So now your life will be so easy and so slow. Well, that never happened. The opposite happened. You got busier and busier because you could be more productive. Now I just need to train an agent I tell it what to do. And it's like having a workforce, doing the
Mhm.
things. You can do this with your reports or your letters, or not your emails, but all that other stuff. You got to believe that it's important enough to take the time to do. And that's how grandparents can better understand this digital generation, because now when you talk about stuff, like you said, I'm involved in it. We don't have that gap between us. That's now a bridge for us, another bridge. You agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was a big word there. That was any last things that you want to say? I mean, we're at an hour. And somebody else just joined in. A little late there, buddy, whoever you are. Um, the, either that or they dropped off before. But what would you want? How would you want to close? I think this was one of our better shows to me, because the one thing I'm concerned about is I'm not a teen today. So I need to really rely on you to be able to bring that message on, and act like, a grandparent. Just say, hey, Emma, what do you think about this kind of thing? So it's a great format, but I've got to know. For me, it's a bit of a challenge, because I've got to think about, not just these half a dozen subjects. What else do teens think about? So, what, how would you want? How do you want to close the show?
um,
Oh, wait.
Emma, do you think that social media and AI tools are helping and making more teens socially aware and mature, or hindered growth?
Yeah, that's kind of, we went around the edges of that, but
Yeah,
that's right to the point.
what I think is like it depends on the type of person that you are. I feel like everybody's different. People might be like more socially aware, or they just may like view it in like a negative way.
Beautiful answer. How do you want to close
Yeah.
out the show, girl?
Just a little goodbye. That's what I usually do.
That's what you usually do. Well, tell everybody goodbye. Give a big wave. I'll throw you in the green room, and I'll close out the show if that's what you want to do. What do you want me to do? Is that good for you? This is
Yeah,
your show too.
yeah, that's fine.
You
Goodbye, everybody. Have a good day, and I'm glad you guys watched and saw me, because I like when you guys watch, and I love you guys. And yeah, everybody have a beautiful, wonderful day.
big wave.
Bye.
All right, bye. That was awesome. That was awesome. So great show today. I mean, I really enjoyed how you guys responded with the reflections that I did in the opening monologue, and I'm just always so impressed. Emma comes on. The girl's 16 years old, and you know, like she says, pretty regular. Everybody's a little different, so everybody does things a little differently. But like I said in the beginning, she's thoughtful, she's intelligent, and she's not afraid to keep me honest. So I always I always worry about her giving me a little kick in the butt for something I missed or something. But that's our show, and this is Insights and Straight Talk, and I am your host alongside of producer Barbie, who is on the show here now, and you'll see in the outro video. And with that, I'm out.
Before you leave, if you'd like to watch another one of the podcasts, click the first link in the description. We love having you here and we appreciate all your support.
And with that, producer Barbie and I are out. Hey guys, good to see you.